Good morning, everyone. Let us continue with our previous class. In the previous class, we discussed about network topology basic concepts. So we have discussed about what are the terms which are required in order to understand the network topology in a better way. So we have discussed what is node, what is mesh, what is node, then what are the branch currents, what are branch voltages, right? Apart from that, the most important concept we discussed about which are related with network are, right? So graph, what is oriented graph, what is the rank of a graph? So we know that what is graph. Graph is nothing but it is replacing all the network elements with a single line. So we know what is the difference between a network graph and a oriented graph. So in the oriented graph and network graph, the difference here is in oriented graph we will be representing the branch currents, whereas in graph we don't represent any currents. So rank of the graph is given by, it depends on the number of the nodes. If your network has n number of nodes, then the rank of the graph is given by n minus 1. So apart from that, we have also discussed what are the steps are required in you have to follow in order to draw the oriented graph. So the steps involved here are replacing all the network elements like resistor, inductor and capacitor with a line. Then all the voltage sources are replaced with short circuit. That is step number 2, and all the current sources are replaced with open circuit. Right? Then remember that no node has to be missed from your circuit while drawing your network graph. Right? So these are few definitions we have discussed. Apart from that, we have seen few examples how to draw them. Then we have discussed about a planar graph and a non-planar graph. Then we have discussed about path and a subgraph. Then the most important definition we have discussed is about the tree and the twigs of a graph. So tree is nothing but here when you have a certain network oriented graph. So from the network oriented graph, in order to draw the tree, first of all you have to identify the total number of loops which are present in them. Then from the total number of nodes which are present in them, you remove one particular branch from it, so that the closed loop becomes open loops. Then like that you keep on removing the branches depending upon how many loops are there. Then you will be getting a tree. So another thing that you have to remember here is that a single network graph basically have more than one tree. So the branch which we are replacing here is nothing but it is known as a twig, right? Then again what we do is, after removing that, so we calculate the number of links which are required in the graph. Then the number of links which are present in a tree is calculated based on the formula, that is b minus n plus 1, where b represent the number of branches which are present, n is the number of nodes plus 1. So then we replace back the removed branches with a dotted line, which we call them as a links. And remember that the links are represented with a dotted line. So we have discussed till this point in the previous class. Now we will discuss a new concept with respect to network graph, which is known as incidence matrix. So what is incidence matrix? So in order to understand the incidence matrix here, let us take an example of a network graph. So I am considering a network graph here. If you see in the figure here, network graph is nothing but it is a graph which represents all the branch currents. So that's why it is called as a oriented graph. So we already know what is the difference between an oriented graph and a normal graph. So here I am taking one example of a oriented graph which represents all the different types of branch currents. Okay. Now what is incidence matrix? So in order to plot an incidence matrix, so I will first explain you how to plot the incidence matrix. Then I will explain you what is this incidence matrix will give us. So in order to understand the concept of giving an incidence matrix, so what are the steps that you need to follow, that we will discuss now. So from the given network graph, first what you have to do is you have to prepare a table. So in order to prepare a table, what should come on which side, that we'll discuss now. So first from the given network graph, you have to identify the total number of nodes which are present in your network graph. So you know how to identify the node, and last class we have also discussed that the nodes we represent with an alphabets, then branch we represent with a numbers, or you can go vice versa also. The branches you represent with numbers, and nodes you can represent with numbers, and branches you can represent with alphabets. But don't use the same combination for nodes and branch because it is always confusing. So in order to understand that, here in this network oriented graph, I have used alphabets for nodes and the numbers for the branches. Now if you look at the graph, I have already designated the nodes. So total nodes in this particular given network oriented graph are 4. So let us name them as A, B, C, and then one node is in the down, that is D. So there are 4 nodes. Now how many branches are there? We have assumed some branch currents, as I have already told you in the previous class that you can assume the branch currents in whatever direction you want. So we have assumed the branch current. So how many branches are there in the network? If you look at the branch, it is first branch is here, second branch, third branch, fourth branch, fifth branch, and then sixth branch. So total there are 6 branches. Now what you have to do is you have to prepare a table like this. So I'll tell you how to fill this table, but before that, how do we write this table? Now first you write the node here, and below that you write vertically what are the different nodes which are present in this particular given network graph. Now along with the given network graph, here for node A in the bracket I have mentioned what are the branches which are associated with A. That means how many branches are connected with node A. So if you see here, the node A has 2 branches associated with that number I have written in the bracket here, that is 1, 4. Similarly, coming to node B. So B is associated with 3 branches, so those numbers are being represented in the bracket. Similarly, you C is connected to 3 branches, so all these 3 branches have been named here. Similarly, coming to D, D is associated with 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 branches. Those 4 branches are mentioned in the bracket. There is no compulsion that you have to write these branch numbers in the bracket, but it is always easier for you if you write while writing the incidence matrix. So we'll make a practice of writing this. Okay. So you write a node on the top left corner, and below that you make 4 rows, each row consisting of 1 node. So there are 4 nodes, I am getting 4 rows here. Now coming to the next line beside node, you have to write the branches. Now when you write the branches, we know that already there are 6 branches in this, so you make 6 columns here. So mention the branch numbers as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so I hope it is clear to everyone. So horizontal you write the branch numbers, and vertically you write the node numbers. So after writing this, how do we fill this incidence matrix? So in order to fill this incidence matrix, now you have to see the branches which are associated with node A. So listen carefully. Now first row I will tell you how to write. Based on that you can write the remaining 3 rows. So first node is associated with 2 branches 1, 4. That means to this node only 1 and 4 are connected. That means the remaining branches does not come under A node. That means except 1 and 4, you fill zeros in the remaining branches. That is 2, 3, 5 and 6. Okay. Similarly, coming to node B. So node B is associated with 1, 4 and 5. Except 1, 4 and 5. So you fill the remaining branches with 0. Same is the case with C, same is the case with D. Now, what is the criteria that we use in order to fill the branches which are associated with that node? For example, if I take A. So A is associated with 1 and 4 branches. So in order to write or fill this matrix here, what you have to do is you have to see the direction of the current of that branch. So there is only two possibilities are there for the currents. Okay, so for example, I am talking about A now. So in the node A, the branches are 1 and 4. So the possibilities of the branch currents is either it will enter the node or it will leave the node. These are the only two possibilities. Now in order to fill this incidence matrix with the branches which are associated with that node, so you have to follow the sign convention. What is the sign convention that we have? The sign convention here is, if the current is entering towards the node, please listen carefully. If the current is entering towards the node, then we write it as -1. You can see that here. If the current is entering the node, so 1 is entering A, that's why I have written -1. Then now if the current is leaving the node, then we write it as +1. I hope it is clear to everyone. So in order to write an incidence matrix, there are three possible combinations you will get. One is 0, -1, +1. So when we write 0, we write 0 when that branch is not a part of the node, so we put 0. Then we write -1 if the branch current is entering the node, and we write +1 if it is leaving the node. So based on this concept, you need to fill this complete incidence matrix. So what is incidence matrix tells us? Please always remember that when you finish writing this incidence matrix, the sum of each column will be always equal to 0. That we call it as incidence matrix. So what is incidence matrix? When for any given network graph you can take any directions of current you assume, but always remember that when you see the column wise values for this incidence matrix, the sum of this value will be always equal to 0. So this is -1, this is +1, you are getting 0. This is -1, this is +1, it is getting 0. So this condition always holds good for incidence matrix. So I hope it is clear to everyone how to write an incidence matrix. Okay, now let us go to the next slide. So let us take an example here. So this is another example. So some magnetically coupled circuit is given, which consists of resistors, inductors, okay, then independent current source, then independent voltage source, then we have also the independent voltage source. Apart from this, this is magnetically coupled with a dot convention, and you have another voltage source. This is complete circuit it is. Now for this example, you have to plot a graph. That is, this is the graph for that. So in order to draw the graph, you have to always remember the rules that we follow in order to plot the graph. So what are the rules here? So this particular branch has to be replaced with a line. Now you have a current source. This current source has to be open circuited. If you find here, there is no line has been drawn for the current source because this branch has been replaced with open source. So this we call it as a network graph. Then this we call it as a oriented graph, because this particular circuit diagram, if you see, this shows the directions of the branch currents. Apart from that, if you see here, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 nodes are there. So in order to see that there are 6 nodes and how many branches that we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 branches. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 nodes are there. So 8 branches and 6 nodes. That means how many links will be there, that we have to identify. So the formula is here, L is equal to B minus N plus 1. So it is 8 minus 6 plus 1. So 8 minus 6 plus 1 is nothing but you are going to get 3. That means your circuit has 3 links. That means I need to, in order to draw the tree for this particular network graph, I need to remove 3 branches. So if you see here, It is being removed with 1, okay, then 2 and then 3. So branches, how many are there? Let us calculate once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and then 8. Okay. So based on that, you are going to draw the tree for that, and whatever is not in as a part of this particular tree, that will be known as a tree. So when I combine this and this, then I am going to get this particular figure. Okay. So this is just an example. Now let us consider another example here. So referring to the circuit which is shown in the below diagram. Okay. Now let us draw the graph, one tree and a co-tree. Okay. For this network graph, let us draw the graph, one tree and then one co-tree. Okay. So now before we start drawing here, let us first identify the total number of nodes which are present in this. So this is first node, this is second node, this is the third node, and this will be your common node. So I have 1, 2, 3 and then 4 nodes. So how many branches you have? 1. Okay. Then you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and then 7. I am not taking current source into consideration because current source in parallel with resistor always counted as one branch. And as such, while drawing the graph, you know that all the circuit elements, that is resistor, inductor and capacitor, are replaced with the line, and your current voltage source is replaced with this short circuit, and your current source is replaced with the open circuit. So keeping all the steps in mind, if I draw the graph for this diagram, it will be something like this. You see here. So you have 1, 2, 3 and then 4 nodes. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 branches are there. So you have B as 7, capital N as 4. So how many links will be there? So L is equal to, it is B minus N plus 1. So B is nothing but branches. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 branches minus 4 nodes. That is 7 minus 4 plus 1. So that is 3. So 7 minus 4 is 3. 3 plus 1, 4. That means this number of links will always tell us that how many loops are present in the given network. So L is equal to, I am getting 4 means there are 4 links. That means I am having how many loops in the network? I am having 4 loops in the network. So let us see what are the loops. This is the first loop, this is the second loop, this is your third loop and this is your fourth loop. So in order to draw the tree, all the closed loops have to be made open loop. So in the first loop, I am going to remove the top branch. So that is being removed. Then from the left loop, I am going to remove the extreme left line. So this is what you are going to get. Then from the third loop, I am going to remove this this straight line. Then I am going to get this one. Then from the last loop, I am going to remove this particular branch. Then I am going to get this. So if you consider this, I have to remove 4 branches because I have to get 4 links here. So for this graph, this is one type of tree. So it is not compulsory that this has to be the tree. You can draw any tree because as we know that every network graph has n number of trees, right? Now, whatever branches I have removed from this tree, using that if I plot, then you are going to get a co-tree. This is what I have removed from this. So when I combine this with this, I am going to get back my graph. This is how you plot a graph, tree and then co-tree. Okay. Let us take another example. Refer the network shown in the figure. Calculate the corresponding impedance matrix. So this is very, very important. Now for this particular network graph, network, you have to write an impedance matrix. You know how to write an impedance matrix, right? But before we write an impedance matrix, you have to first identify the total number of nodes which are present in this network. So let us start finding it. 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. So I have total 5 nodes in this network. Now, is there any current source in it? No, we don't have any current source. We have a voltage source which is also being replaced with a short circuit. So let us find out how many branches are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, 1, 2, 3. Let us calculate, measure the outer one. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 outside, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 inside. Then I am having total 8 branches. 5 nodes and then 8 branches. So in order to draw the network graph, in order to write an incidence matrix, first I have to draw the network graph. So let us draw the network graph, how it looks. So it looks like this. So this is a network oriented graph I have to plot, because in order to write an incidence matrix, I have to know that whether the branch currents are entering the node or leaving the node. So same concept we are going to use here. The concept here is you make a tabular column. In the tabular column, left hand side you write the nodes. So nodes are here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now if you see, again I am following the naming convention where I have used numbers for the nodes and alphabets for the branches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are my nodes. Okay, how many branches we have? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then H. So these are my branches which you have to write horizontally. So as also that we know that for nodes I am writing in the bracket what are the branches associated with it. So for A, how many branches are connected? For B, how many branches are connected? For C, how many branches are connected? D, how many branches are connected? E, how many branches are connected? Okay. So now you know how to fill an incidence matrix. So in order to fill an incidence matrix, we have to consider 3 conditions. First is 0, -1, +1. So when do we put 0? You first put zeros for all the branches which are not a part of your node. So you put all of them as 0. Then the second condition that you have to follow is -1. If the current from that particular branch is entering the node, then we put -1. If it is leaving that particular node, then we write it as +1. Okay, so based on that condition, if you fill, this is the incidence matrix which you are going to get. And always after writing an incidence matrix, you have to check that whether the sum of the columns is equal to 0 or not. So if you look at this, the sum of all the columns will be equal to 0. When you justify this, that indicates that you have done an incidence matrix in a current way. So this is how you calculate the incidence matrix for a given network. So today we have discussed about how do we draw an incidence matrix. Okay, how do we draw the network graph? How do we draw the tree? How do we calculate the number of links present in the network? So for today's class, we will end up here, and in the next class we will discuss about how to write a tie set schedule. So your tie set schedule is similar to mesh analysis which you have already studied. So we will discuss the tie set schedule in the next class. Thank you.